Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I haven't done a Unifi or a Verizon FiOS update in a while to my home network setup. It's been actually a couple of years. I've picked up a few new items here. I picked up a little network rack. I've got a shelf here on the bottom, which came at, that was just, I think, 60 bucks for the rack and the shelf. I moved the original shelf, which was up top, down lower so I could put my NAS on it. Playing around with a Proxmox machine right here that's got some VMs and WireGuard and a couple other things on it. That eventually is going to be taken out of this case and put on a 2U server enclosure so I can put that up there. But I just want to give you a quick overview of the before. I need to do some cable management. I need to clean up in here a little bit. I'm trying to alleviate having, this is my main switch. I only have one going out. This is acting as my core switch right now still, the Unifi switch 860 watt. This is running my APs, an access point, three access points. This is running a camera. This other one that is showing fast Ethernet is running out to the garage, which has a PoE injector for one of these flex cameras on the front of the house. This is just sitting here just for proof of concept. I'm just playing with it. There's really no reason for it to be in here, so I'll free up this one. There's no PoE in the regular UDM Pro, only the SES has that. And let's see, for home automation, IoT devices, I've got the Sonos here. I've got a Circle back there for managing all the kids' devices, and I've got, I think that's it. I think it's just those two things. One other thing I want to point out, that we're still running Verizon FiOS. It's a gigabit internet plan, so it's about 980 down, and you can get upwards of like 850 to 900 megs up. So it's almost, one up, one down. It's been great. Haven't had any issues with it. I did put a small, which we're going to do some little management here in a second. There is a small UPC right there running to this power brick. Only a couple things are actually on power. So this is their lower end. I think it's only a 300 watt. The computer that's plugged in here on the right side does not go through the battery. It just goes as a surge. Everything else, the ones on the left, are specifically for battery. It's made for home networking, so like a cable modem and a router. It's not intended to be used for a whole network setup, so I need to divide up what power is going to just a surge and what power is just going to be running the network, because here's the power brick for the ONT that's on the outside. And I bring that up because the optical network terminal ONT that FiOS and Frontier provide you, basically just converts it so you can use coax or Ethernet. However, one of my tests I would like to do is to run a fiber line from here outside with a coupler that I can run the fiber directly past the ONT right into my UDM Pro. Because this is a fiber WAN, this is SFP plus WAN, so it can be up to 10 gigs up top. That would alleviate me having to run the ONT outside. There's other FTTH, fiber to the home companies that are doing the same thing, because all it's using itself is as a media converter. Yes, the ISP can ping that device to see it's online. However, if you're using all your own network gear, as long as you have something like that in place, And then I still have an old Verizon gateway if I need to test any kind of networking for troubleshooting. That's still going to be outside. All I have to do is undo the coupler, and this can stay in here. And then I can add a Verizon gateway if I ever need to troubleshoot my network. I've never had trouble inside my network. It's always been outside. But I'd like to alleviate having to use an extra power source for a box that's outside that I don't need. If I can just run a nice fiber line right through the wall, because the ONT is right on the opposite side of this wall here. If I can run fiber right in here, that'd be great. One less thing to power, one less thing to use up nonsense energy. And it'd be good for me to show everyone that is curious about using aftermarket, your home grown appliances, your personally owned devices, rather than using network owned stuff or rented or bought stuff through that's branded through your ISP. This, I think it'll be a good test. Okay, let me get to clean up some of this stuff. All right, after about 10 minutes, I realized that no matter what I'm doing around here, I can unplug all these wires and like kind of truncate them to like one small area. Tightening them up, I would have to essentially unplug this whole group of wires and run it up over that I-beam, which right now is not something I really want to do. Even unplugging this wire right here, it makes it look a lot cleaner. I mean, I push these wires are all sitting further back. As soon as I get the other switch in here, and I'll pause the video until I get to that point, but I'll put the other switch in here, be able to run a couple of these wires a little cleaner, and I might just have to buy the second switch as well, which will alleviate all of this. So essentially, maybe I'll do one of the patch panels that I can plug all of these cables into the back, instead of using the punch down over here. Have that here, have the switch there. So a couple things I'm gonna research real quick, but this I'd like to move out into my garage, because I've got an AP upstairs that runs out to the garage and then comes down here, and I have a camera in the garage as well. So I could use this out in the garage to run those PoE devices, and then give me expansion, because I may be moving my office out to the garage at some point. Give me expansion to run additional devices out there as well. So that might be where this device is going, because I want that aggregation switch to be my core switch. Yeah, instead of running, I've got a PoE injector and just another small dummy switch out in the garage. And then this can go away, like I said before. But if I could get this guy right here taken out of this case, this is a 2600X with 16 gigs of RAM, running Proxmox 7.x as the hypervisor, as the main OS, and just have a couple other small little drives in there which have some Linux VMs, some containers that I'm just playing with. I just remote into this box. I never keyboard and mouse are here just in the monitor, just so I can upon boot, if I have to change anything, I can do it quickly. But this I'd love to have rack mounted right there, and then put a small I've got some old carpet right here. We'll put some small carpet right down here as well. But I'm wait till I get that switch in here, and do some cleaning up. I'm going to research a panel that I can use for like passing some wires through, because I really don't want the wires coming out and over, like from the pop through and go right into to the panel as I need. So I'll do some research. All right, guys, this server cabinet is fully up and running. This is a multi-part video. I don't know which part this one is. I'll have to go back through my footage, but before I got to this point, I was redoing some of my wiring here. I know it kind of looks kind of cluttered, but these just have to be some wire tied up. Here's my main trunk of cables coming in. I put this patch panel in a little while ago. Actually, it's been probably 3.5 years ago. So this is a 12 drop for Cat 6. It's a punch down on the back. And basically what I was doing here was I was running all my cables to this. And then I had, this is a web managed smart switch by Netgear. I had this 8-port mounted to the wall right here, and right above it on that screw was my USG 3-port. So that was up there with this one right underneath of it, and it was very clean with the cables just wrapping over to it. At least I thought at the time. As I keep diving into this hobby here, all these cables up here kind of running into behind these two boards, which are mounting this 6U rack. But the final thing that I need to do to clean all of this up would be to buy a 24-port PoE switch, and that's what's going to go down here in slot number 2. So I'm going to get a, I don't know if I'm going to go the Pro 24 PoE or if I'm just going to do the 24 PoE. I'd like to have the 10 gig backbone to do the 24 Pro PoE switch, but I kind of really don't need it because I've got the switch aggregation right there. These are only SFP modules running 1 gig, so this is the uplink, which is going to here. I just made this on the back side of here. It's just a short cable that's running over into port 1. So this is the uplink to that. And then my in for FiOS in is just running to a keystone jack here, and then on the back side it's running up into this right here. This is temporarily because I will take the cable that I used to punch down on number 1 here. There's no degradation in service. It's only a 1 gig line, but I would like to clean this up by taking it off of here when I take this off, and it would just basically run right into the back of this keystone jack. I may jump into playing around with just making a few cables that are terminated at the back of keystone jacks, which come out with connectors, so I could either plug them in here, which I guess that's what I want to do, is I want to take all of these which are routed into the basement. So I've got some ports on the other side, where the 2 on the other side of the wall here, which are running up into this. If I just make connectors that just run to the back of these keystone jacks, and they'll be up here coming down, so you really won't see them, then this whole slot here will be clean, because the 24-port PoE switch will eliminate this 8-port, which is only 4 PoE on this one, running the 3 access points in my house, basically. And this smart switch, which is just piggybacked off of this one. It's, only thing running on this is just IoT stuff. So these power wires are for IoT devices because it's USB at the top. The Sonos, the Circle, that's all that's on this. There's the uplink. That's a TV, that's a computer. That is an uplink from here running, I think, the PlayStation over there, but there's nothing critical on this switch. And it runs over to here and it runs up there. There's no loops right here. It's just I want to alleviate using, this was my core switch for the longest time. Now this is the core switch. These have no temperature to them, which if you're running the 10 gig, they would be quite warm. The DACs have no temperature to them, so I essentially can run, you know, at least 2 more 1 gigs before I can run these 2 in 10 gig. If I wanted to run either the 10 gig to RJ45, which would create the heat. But these SFP, the RJ45s, there's no temperature on them, so you can run all 8 of these without having any kind of temperature issues. Something I was kind of worried about jumping into this switch, because I wanted this as my core switch, but I didn't know how many SFP modules I could throw in there without them creating a little bit of a temperature issue, them being side by side. That's why they weren't next to each other. But this is just an uplink. This is running to this Proxmox server I've been playing around with. So, all right, enough of that. So this should be cleaned up. It's going to be a couple weeks before I throw that switch in there. All the power, I'm going to put another board across here, and I'm actually going to mount this to the back wall so we can throw the cables behind here, plug them all in, and then on this shelf, all I will have is some networking tools and the NAS. This shelf will still stay in there, this little 1U shelf, maybe just to hold some wires from falling down. I really don't know. I was thinking about moving the shelf to the top and actually putting the NAS on top, and I may do that. But if you can see up here, there's this bar that's in the way. So, and the shelf doesn't go back too far. But this is a support bar, and I don't want to take this out. But theoretically, I could throw the shelf in there and then put the NAS more to the back side, but I don't think I want to do that. I like this. This is a swing. There's a hinge here, so if I take these off, I can swing it open and put something up there if I wanted to. This is just kind of an OCD panel, but it looked kind of cool. It was different. Started just throwing these blank keystone jacks in here. I'm not throwing these in there because I don't want to hit these cables right now, but I will just fill those up when I need to. But yeah, this is I guess mid 2023 update. I'm gonna put these first 2 videos in there probably right before this part of the video. What am I trying to accomplish? I really don't know. I like doing the networking stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's a hobby. My son came in here the other day. He's like, really? Like, do we need, like, what the hell is all this stuff? Do we really need this? And I try to explain them, like, this does the network, this does a switch, you know, that's where I save all my stuff. You know, this is where I save more stuff playing around with. And, yeah, so he couldn't quite get it, you know, 13 years old, he couldn't quite get it, but didn't know why we couldn't just have, like, a little router like everyone else does. But it's just a hobby. It's fun. I love the Unifi equipment. What suggestions do you guys have? Currently I have got my computer sitting here. I kind of moved my little workstation over here for the time being. This is my gaming computer. I'm gonna put a sit stand desk here on this wall because I like having the window here, and I'll have my 2 monitors for all work stuff. This would be gaming. But I was thinking about taking this workstation and actually putting a shelf on the wall, maybe like here or something, and actually mounting it to the wall. Another idea would be is to take this and get a, since this is a 6U, maybe a 12 or 18U rack on the floor, and start rack mounting some of these computers. If I'm going to be this close to it, I can easily get some long USB and DisplayPort cables, but this is just a start. I know when I was told, whatever you think about buying rack wise, go bigger. Yeah, so this is a 6U. I wish it was, I wish I would have bought a 12U. Because if I had a 12U, this would have been a little bit lower here, and the shelf, the NAS would have fit right on it, and having that 24 port switch in there would have cleaned it up. I guess my main goal is I want to make this as clean as possible with all this jankiness out of the way. I need the circle because the circle does the parent content filtering that the UDM Pro does not do right now. If they had it built in, I would be able to set all that filtering up through the UDM Pro. Like if I want to kick the kids offline, I just pull up the Circle app and click off and all their devices get turned off. I can't do that in UDM Pro, so I have to use the Circle. I hate doing it, but yeah, it's just kind of where I'm at with kids. It's a good device. I would say it's kind of the UDM picks up threat management off the Circle, because the Circle will occasionally beacon out. I don't know if it's for updates or whatnot, but I have it set up to where she's not talking to anybody. She will do all the content filtering, but if she tries to talk to anybody, everything gets dropped. So I don't know if maybe it's looking for updates. I have to go in the firmware on the app and see if I can manually push an update to it, but nothing outside my network should be talking to that besides maybe that Circle server. That's something that I do need to look into. But I have to have that. The Sonos bridge is great because everything filters through this one point. It's not like each of my Sonos devices are connected to Wi-Fi and then connected back. They're all connected via mesh network into here. So I want to keep that, and I want to keep that. I guess those are really my only two IoT devices down here. This camera is PoE. Camera out here is Wi-Fi. So yeah, those two devices, I could probably hide them up here. That may be something, or I'll Velcro them down to this and push them in the back so you won't be able to see them. That might be the idea. I can move these two things out of here. That can be moved down. And the only thing we have on the shelf is the NAS. So. All right, quick little update. I've been talking for 12 minutes now. Just want to show you what's going on. Yeah, from this angle, it does look kind of janky, but it's actually pretty clean. I like it. Thanks for watching this one, guys. If you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. I can tell you that I will be doing the fiber modification to my UDM Pro. So here's a 10 gig fiber WAN port, and there's the GPON adapter that I can do from here right outside, because here's my Cat 6 coming in for my ONT outside. I'm going to bypass the ONT. It's going to come right into here. So I'm going to have a fiber cable go from here on the other side going straight outside. So I just have to pull, I think, a 10-foot cable with the double female adapter is only like $8 off of Amazon. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to have fiber coming from their data center instead of to the home. To the ONT, it's going to come fiber straight to the UDM Pro. That's my next kind of upgrade, and then I'll have a little fiber adapter here where I can just go from here straight up there, and it'd be nice and clean. So, yep. All right, guys, that'd be a nice update. I got a couple friends at work that also have fiber to the home through FiOS, and wanted to know if it works. And I've seen some guys do it. I've seen some guys on Reddit do it, and that will be the upgrade after I get my switch in here, get this stuff cleaned up. But thanks for watching again. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.